to the workshop.
This is our contribution to the workshop.
The
The situation that has happened is that Lottie has been vomited on by all over the underwear
It's gone into my pants.
by the loveliest little doggy.
Oh, he's so cute, but I really
little doggy.
there's a lot of meat paste all over my skirt.
Yeah,
it
meat
may have
paste.
gone through the skirt.
Yeah. But this is how it rolls.
This is how we can contribute.
Community radio.
So I've got to go back now and wash all of the dog sick out of my underwear and myself.
Yes.
But it's fine. This happens all the time. This kind of thing.
But
Animals
we were just
come
telling
up to
Chris
me
about how a
and
dog
they vomit
urinated on
or-
Lottie's back outside.
I'm not sure
Paddington.
why, but you know, we had a herring gull the other day, and that sort of stank up.
Oh, it did.
Everything.
It did stink up everything.
And
But it was a very
then,
nice.
like, the crow came in and like flew around.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. But it didn't vomit all
and
over your underwear.
The guinea pigs like urinate on me all the time. I guess this is just like nature is. What was the quote?
Satan's church.
Nature is Satan's church.
Yeah. And
What's the quote about the chicken?
so,
Look into the eyes of the chicken.
I rescued a grasshopper today from the road. It was about
was it one of them big green ones?
It was huge, hungry, like 2 inches long. It was amazing.
Did he vomit on you?
I don't think so.
No.
I have got a picture of it climbing up my leg.
Oh, wonderful. I just want to add that I also have one damp buttock at this juncture, but my situation is nothing compared.
I know, it's quite extreme, mine.
Really
I mean, yeah,
extreme.
we established that we were going to come in, but then I'm
Yeah, we
covered
were
in
gonna come
six
in.
and I've got to go home.
Yeah. I've got a mild smattering of sick.
But I don't think, I mean, we could have come in, but like
We would
the
have smelled of
vomit
sick.
is like all over the crotch area of my skirt, and there's like quite a lot of things that look like chunks of partially digested flesh.
Yes.
And I don't think any of you want to see that and be in the proximity of the smell.
When you're
So-
trying to encourage people to join in.
But as you can see from this, the benefit of radio is that you can't smell it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Sterile.
yeah. Radio is a good sterile medium. In fact, it would probably amaze you to know that we're not in a van at all. We're just in a sound studio.
And this
We've got
is
some
all
stereo
Foley.
effects. It's all Foley,
This
and
is
there
actually
is
a story.
actually no vomit.
No, it's new.
No vomit.
Ultra realist storytelling.
Yeah, which is the kind of thing that we might explore in these workshops.
Yeah.
Because radio art is such an open and unexplored medium that, as you can see here with our impressive going down towards the motel services near Pear Tree, as you can see, we're brilliant at doing sound design. And the voice of Chris in this clip was actually AI as well.
And it's actually been supported by an Arts Council grant on immersive practices. It's so immersive, none of it's real. Isn't it immersive?
Exactly. Have you got vomit on your hands as well?
Because the new VR sort of like world needs to also deal with sort of, in order to make itself look like reality, it needs to deal with the beige, monotonous, unpleasant parts of reality as well.
Yeah.
So,
So what's happened so far today to us is lots of crows and pigeons came to the window, and then an angry racist man stared through the window for about 20 minutes, which Lottie had completely forgotten about.
I forgot about that.
With vomit gate
and then
happening.
he shouted at me.
And then he shouted.
And then we showed him a Salvador Dali lithograph of like a cat.
And then it smashed.
All this wine, and it's going into everybody's mouths, and it's sort of like a sort of eyes wide shut sort of scenario.
Yeah.
And then that smashed, but the picture's all right. And then he got really angry, and he started shouting at me about how he hates the Middle East.
Yeah.
and
Hey, look, we're back in
I was
Shipton Abbot.
asking him why he's so angry. What's wrong?
And now
What's
we're-
wrong? Really, deep down.
Yeah.
And I asked him to turn his frown upside down
You
as
did,
well.
you did.
And then he got on the bus and he wouldn't look at me.
No, he wouldn't.
He was scared.
He was sad and scared.
Sad and scared.
We're now back in Shipton Abbot, still covered in vomit. Lots and lots. The good news is it's young dog vomit.
Yeah.
So young dog vomit.
It's-
Hello.
it's-
You're very
it's
beautiful.
all
Oh,
right.
you just
I'm
got some
not
vomit on my
angry
hand.
with you. You got
Thank
vomit
you.
on your nose.
Yeah.
Aww.
He's a lovely doggy.
What a lovely dog.
And it's good if it's young dog vomit, it's not as offensive as
Not
old
many
dog vomit.
chunks.
Yeah.
And cat vomit's much worse.
Oh, cat vomit.
It looks like a carpet.
Well, it does. It looks
What's
yeah.
going
It looks
on?
like
Oh, it's
a
'cause it's all its
Weatherspoon's
hair,
carpet.
isn't it? So
yeah.
it looks like a...
You kind of snuffed it out. Cats let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Like,
Yeah, you're a discreet vomiter, aren't
yeah. Oh, maybe we should. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Don't be ashamed. Do it in public.
you? Well, we've done a round
that's
trip
it.
from Shipton
From
Abbot
us.
to Dartington, back to Shipton Abbot, and here we are, almost back at the door. Gonna clean that vomit. Gonna clean that vomit off ourselves. I'm gonna let Lottie go first because I've only got a small amount of vomit
And
on
the
my buttock.
Good thing about being covered in vomit in this scenario, after just talking to the guy who was really angry with the Middle East, is if I get any more people like that, I'll just run towards them with the
Covered
vomit.
in vomit.
Covered in the vomit.
That's a great idea.
And that will make them less think of something other than what they're angry about.
Yeah.
Should we,
Well, I was going to say, should we jump out? But then I thought you probably don't want to walk down the street covered in vomit. Yeah, like
There's-
that. You know, like having to walk.
Quite. Oh wow, there's quite a lot of vomit.
Yeah, you're
Oh, it looks
probably.
so like hummus.
Oh, no.
Thank you so much. Very beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Neil and John. And thank you to my lawyer, Sam.
I love it when I can wash my clothes outside. That outdoor freshness unleash the wild. I love it when I can wash my clothes outside. That outdoor freshness unleash the wild. I love it when I can wash my clothes outside. That outdoor freshness unleash the wild.
Sound Art Radio, Ergo and Depresstival Magical Fun Time on Sound Art Radio.
Woo!
You heard a string quartet, what I wrote, and after that you heard a string quartet written by Sam PRADALIE. And in this program we are going to play lots of music by the young composer, I can say that because I'm old, the young composer Sam PRADALIE, who is one of the most inventive and wittiest artists working, and his work has a wonderful, healthy dose of despair beneath it all. So we're going to showcase Sam's music throughout the program, and you can find these recordings on the SoundCloud. I'll talk briefly about my string quartet that played, that was called Crow's Breakfast, and it's because the crows and the jackdaws and the pigeons, as you will know if you're a listener to this program regularly, come to our house, come studio, and come and visit, come and get their breakfast. But not only do they get their breakfast, they get their lunch, their din-dins, they get their snacks. Some of them, I'll be honest, some of them, you know, I would say they're kind of more like little and often than having like 3 square meals a day. I see some of them just coming in
just a little bit
and nibbling, yeah, just little and often, that kind of diet, and yeah, and it's wonderful. They come here all the time, and many many dreadful things happening in the world. Many dreadful things have happened in our personal lives in the last year.
I see many dreadful things out the window.
Yeah, but we, there is. I am astonished by living in such close proximity with the birds and having a constant bird presence, except at night time,
and then
of
in the
course.
background there's like heavy military presence going over the top.
Yeah, there's the heavy local military presence really making themselves known.
You're trying to sort of interact with the pigeons.
They're all over
like,
Shipton Abbot.
Look at the sky, and then like a Chinook, where is the stupid?
Yeah, they're horrible things,
Right,
these Chinooks.
Yeah, they're
but
really
I
horrible.
remember,
like going over the hill.
Yeah, I had a period when I was a kid, when I was obsessed with kind of World War II, and I wanted to be in the army and all that kind of thing. And the object of desire, more than anything else that I wanted at that time, was a little toy Chinook, because I'd seen someone I knew at school had brought a toy Chinook in, and it was the most desirable thing to me at that time.
Like
was a toy Chinook.
I like model thing.
Well, my problem with that now is that aesthetically, the Chinook is a very ugly object. That's not a nice shape.
No.
It's sort of like a telephone, but with protrusions on either side, and then. If my telephone had propellers, it would be a useless telephone, because I wouldn't put it near my ear, it would be in the sky.
It's a euphemism for, as with all artillery, it's a euphemism for sort of a phallus, really.
Phallus. You are allowed to say phallus on the radio. Yeah. No, you're totally allowed to say phallus, because if you weren't allowed to say phallus on the radio, then it would be impossible, just to find one example, it would be impossible to have a conversation about Greek comedy. I mean, you cannot dissect the majority of plays by Aristophanes without saying the word phallus. And if you make a euphemism for the word phallus, it's going to be worse, isn't it?
They're all the things that you're not allowed to say.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to think of euphemism for phallus.
That's funny, actually, that the censorship is about the euphemism for the word.
Yeah, the euphemism for the word.
It's all about the euphemism for the word, so then you can say the Latin, or whatever.
Yeah. Is phallus the Latin?
Oh.
I don't know. We need to find that out. I'm gonna ask the hive mind. Okay, wait. I need to ask the hive mind. Okay, hive mind. Hive mind, I have a question for you. Will you open for me, hive mind, so I don't have to do any work or research myself? Here it is. Hive mind. Hive mind. Is phallus the Latin word for
whatever the euphemism is
that we're not
say.
allowed to say? How can I ask this
I'm just
question
going
on
to
the
make
radio?
one up. We should make one up.
What?
Jeremy
A new euphemism? Oh yeah, okay, that's a good one.
No,
Hi-
wait a minute.
What-
No,
yeah.
no, wait a minute. What's his name? The bloke who wears the little shorts that's hates everybody.
Oh, Andrew Tate.
Yeah, that guy. Okay, yeah.
I don't know, but I was thinking when you said Jeremy Clarkson.
No, that's easy.
No,
that's
but
low-hanging fruit.
but that is low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, hive mind.
Because everybody thinks that it's their brain, and then the reason that they hate women is because they haven't got one, not because they're angry at their mothers, but because they think that the external representation between the legs is like somehow better than everything else, and then you can just smash it about into various antiquity in the Middle East and the global south, and just smash it about, smash it a bit, smash it through a community centre, smash it into a like whatever after a hurricane, and then you can do some lovely disaster capitalism. Well done.
Yay, hive mind. Okay, hive mind. Because only people in the old days actually did research. I'm just going to ask the hive. Okay, hive mind. What was the question? Something about the phallus. Oh yeah. Hive mind. Yeah. Perfect. I mean, that's a timeless euphemism.
Yeah, that's a dot.
Okay. I forgot to do my chanting for the hive mind.
Lemurian light language.
Yes, Lemurian light singing. I can't do it today. I could throw a sing yesterday. We had what in the film?
We had the Lemurian light.
We did have Lemurian light singing in our movie, in a hated movie, The Madonna of Bedminster. You're going to hate our next one even more if you hate The Madonna of Bedminster. Anyway, I have to summon the hive mind, don't I? Hive mind. Oh, hive mind. Great hive mind of human consciousness on social networks owned by mass murderers. Oh, great hive mind, please give to me the information I deserve, because I can't be bothered to look it up. Hive mind, I can't be bothered to read a book, so hive mind, could you tell me, please? Hive mind. Is phallus the Latin for low-hanging fruit? Okay, well that's out in cyberspace now and hyperspace, and I hope at some point to receive an answer.
Yes.
You can reach me by telegram, of course.
What's interesting about it?
Oh my goodness! You know what? Oh my! I've just realised something awful. Oh yeah, you are part of the hive mind.
So I've used the hive mind to look it up on the internet. It's quite interesting, actually.
Right.
So, yeah.
Tell me.
Does this count, or did I ruin it? I'm in the hive.
No, yeah, you're in the hive mind, so you can
It's
you can tell me, you
interesting.
can buzz it at me.
It's not directly from classical Latin, but as a loan word from the Greek term phallus. In Greek.
Phallos.
Yeah.
Phallos. You're definitely on the radio under Ofcom regulations allowed to say phallos.
Wow.
Phallos. Phallus.
It says a symbol of generative power. That's the inherent meaning.
The inherent meaning is a symbol of generative power.
So yeah, there you go. That explains everyone's. That I've been saying about this as my theory. That the reason why they're all angry is because of, I know it sounds like a hack sort of trite thing, but it really is. And
it is probably not healthy for a society to think of the dangly bit between their legs as a symbol of
if you're posing
power.
next to lots of missiles, then I can't really read that as anything else. Isn't it the same as like blokes driving a car really fast through like the countryside at 70 miles an hour at night with the lights off? It's the same thing, but you're in a position of power where you can murder an entire country. So like I just don't think that it's anything else other than that, really.
Yeah.
As and then also obviously that like lots of people make money out of like sort of disasters, so they're all primed towards that, and the whole thing is just a contest between lots of people who think that way.
Yeah. It also says, it says the male...
Anyway, we got into that point of the apocalypse where I'm shouting on the radio about this stuff.
But it says here, this is as good as low-hanging fruit, the male virile member, which is like Boris Johnson in the Houses of Parliament.
Virile members of Parliament.
But then it says the male virile member, a symbol of generative power or a figure of that shape. Of what shape? It means a phallic shape.
So Boris Johnson again.
But yeah, I mean...
And I'm allowed to say this because I saw him in the street once, before he was Prime Minister, when he was still the Mayor. Or I think he'd just been voted out or whatever, I can't remember what happened. But I saw him and I was like, oh look, it's that guy who's Boris Johnson. And it was when he lived in Islington, and there's a little crossing, I think I've said about this on the radio before, but there was a bit sort of going down to the canal, and there's a little crossing, and I got stuck on one side by traffic, and he was coming out, and he made eye contact with me, and it was for an uncomfortably long period of time. It was sort of like, well, how you can imagine Boris Johnson looking at people and women in the street. So that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's wonderful.
We talked about this last time because we were talking about Herod's thing as well.
There's a lot of people on the internet asking if the word fallacy comes from the word phallus, which would imply that they think that there is some inherent dishonesty or deception to the low-hanging fruit, isn't it? Well, I mean, maybe there is. But and you couldn't call it the Andrew Tate, because them fruit do not hang low.
No.
You know, as we all know, as we've seen.
No, it was interesting when I realised that the reason why there are loads of men walking around Bristol in the winter in like these tiny little shorts, wearing like, you know, whatever sort of gilet.
Yeah, and you kept saying
North Face gilet.
You kept saying, why are all these guys walking around in these tiny little shorts?
In these tiny little shorts, all these sort of like quite.
And then I did start to notice
I'm really hot
yeah.
sort of blokes who walking around in tiny little shorts in the winter. And
but they were like.
Like why? Why are you doing that?
But they
and
were,
then like a gilet.
But when you say, I think you need to describe
like really little shorts.
Yeah, I mean like Kylie Minogue
really,
in "Can't Get You Out of My Head" little shorts. You shouldn't
be wearing those shorts if
yeah.
you're like you just sort of like however you want to in the wind.
Yeah,
it's disturbing, and then I realise it's because of Andrew Tate, isn't it?
Because he walks around in the little hot pants.
With the little hot pants.
I love the way that, like, men who are really angry about, well, I don't really know what it is, about the fact that they're male and they hate girls.
Yeah, we got shouted at through the window by
Yeah,
one.
we did.
The other day, I started getting men harassing me through the window from the ground floor. Like,
yeah, it's exciting.
what do they think is going to
I
happen?
don't know, and they have no shame, you know. Everybody.
I've got the advantage.
Yeah, but everybody.
Because I'm on the first floor.
Everybody at the bus stop was stood around that guy like, oh my goodness,
What
this
are you
guy is a
doing?
crazy man.
Why are you shouting at a random person through the window?
And we had no idea what he was angry about, and I mean, because there's many things
there's so much
about both of us
angry
that makes
about.
people angry. Like, there's loads.
Oh
there's
yeah,
loads.
people are well angry.
We
with me.
are like-
every day they remind me of.
We are
how
triggers.
angry that
We are walking triggers for the rage
Well,
of a
you know,
particular kind of person.
Deleuze says that the autistic tends to come out and exist at the disjunctions of society. So it's only really when when sort of it's you know, being sidelined by the capitalism, isn't it? So you know, it's not my fault that I'm like this.
but
If
yeah,
you want me
you
to
are
be less
born how
weird,
you are,
if you're sick of looking at me, like
Just look somewhere else.
look somewhere else and make the society better, and
Yeah.
then I won't have to go around having to talk about it.
Yeah, precisely.
If you're sick of listening to it, stop it from happening.
Yeah, and on this subject, I want to say when you, Lottie, talk about autism and the public conception of autism, and then young people respond with great enthusiasm because they say, "Oh my goodness, somebody is saying this."
They've all been told that we're all defective,
Yeah.
and the fact is,
And are autistic people defective
Or did they,
if statistically
invent
autistic
pretty
people
much
are using
everything?
40% more of their brains than non-autistic people, and in non-autistic people there is a massive breakdown in synapses in the first 5 years of life. In non-autistic people there is no breakdown in synapses in the first few years of life, so that's why autistic people sometimes appear a bit weird to you.
we're thinking about
But I
some
really
things.
want to say to the autistic people, now more than ever is the time to
say no.
yeah, and to show your
say
weirdness.
no to other people.
Yeah.
Dehumanising, which happens
and
all the time.
bullying and talking down.
You know, to the extent-
revel in your weirdness and do it together.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, to the extent of the whole sort of society. If you go into, I don't know, off the top of my head, if you go into a healthcare setting, people see autism on your chart and they will immediately take the position that you're what they call an unreliable narrator, or that you don't know what you're doing, or that you're whatever, these horrible ableist words and stuff. I bought a book in a charity shop which was on an abnormal psychology textbook written in the 90s, and it used the R word all the way through for every shocking amount of ableism, of otherization, all the way through, hundreds of times. So as in the person's obviously getting a real kick out of it, and it talked about autistic people in it said something like, imagine you go into a children's home and there's all these R word everywhere and all this horrible language, and then it was talking about, and then you see a child, beautiful and introverted and deft in his movements and graceful, and this is a psychology textbook that it was used in A-level, saying this stuff. It's it's fascist as hell, and the other thing is, up until recently we would have all been put in institutions. So I would have been in an institution. I have had many times within the medical, whatever you want to call it, scene in this country where they where I've been having okay, you were with me actually, weren't you? Where they accused me of so much stuff that just isn't true, and then like going in and sort of having a blood test, and the nurse came to do the blood test, and then was looking at my medical chart, saw that I was autistic. I was having a bit of an asthma attack, and said, "Can I just take off my jumper?" And then getting a bit woozy because I've got POTS, which is a sort of problem because of having
But also,
stretchy veins. And then she went out of the room,
but also
got a colleague
needles
in.
made you really nervous at that point.
Yeah, she went out of
Which
the
is
room,
fine.
which they don't
Needles
anymore
make
because
some people
of being
nervous.
through a pandemic. But
Yeah.
but it makes me nauseous is the problem. And so she had this. She saw autism on my chart. She went out of the room. She got a colleague in, and then they both tried to restrain me. And I was sort of saying, "What are you doing?" And then one of them said, "Oh, you hate people."
Yeah.
And so I got up and I left.
Yeah.
And then I got the appointment, and you were there. You
Yep.
were there, and every time I talk to anyone about this, because I'm autistic, they don't believe me. But the fact is, people have tried to restrain me several times, and there's just like, we act as if everybody's an angel, and no one would ever do anything unreasonable. But there is ableism in the society; it's everywhere.
Well, let's
start saying no to
let's just-
other people being unreasonable.
Let's just talk about now the attitude, certainly the attitude when I was doing A-level history, of people asking the question, how could the situation of Hitler being in power and it getting as bad as it did, how could that possibly be allowed to happen? And
treat it as if it's an anomaly, but
I've read things. I mean, I read a lot about Hitler when I was sort of 18 to 20. I read a lot about Hitler, a lot about Stalin, Russian, Soviet communism, etc., etc.
I watched the
And
War
but yeah, I watched the World War too. But
found that very.
I read people pretty much consistently asking the question, what was it about the German mentality that allowed this to happen? And now I know that it was nothing to do with the German mentality, because the thing that allowed Hitler to happen, and I can see this now, whilst Gaza has been being starved to death for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The way that Hitler,
how racist everybody is.
But I don't think it even goes down to that. The way that Hitler was allowed to happen was complacency. Was people saying, it's got nothing to do with me. Was people thinking, oh well, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So
And I bought a book.
And that's why it happened, and we have been watching it happen while there has been also this consistent drumming up of racism from the Brexit times onwards, and the constant rhetoric against what we call immigrants, but what we should call human beings running away from war zones.
That we have
Now,
created
let
this
me
country, not me.
let me
Just to
ask
clarify,
you.
It's not. It's a specific group of people.
Let me ask you, bourgeois person, white bourgeois person, which comprises 75% of this UK population. Let me ask you what you would do if the lovely little village in the Cotswolds where you live
Yes, well, it's so lovely
was
to get away from.
under aerial assault, or the lovely little Wiltshire village had militia groups in there who were killing everybody. Now, would you stay in that Wiltshire village with the militia gangs who are killing everybody? Or would you think, maybe I will take myself and my family somewhere else where it is safer? Now, the United Kingdom, erroneously, and it's a hangover from the days of British Empire, the United Kingdom has this erroneous reputation as being a completely wonderful place. And I feel, my feel for people who are coming here fleeing from war zones is how dreadful they must feel when they get to this country and find that 80% of it looks like a car park.
Yeah,
you know, and that all the land is privately owned and has been turned into agricultural land, and that there is barely any forest here, and what else? Oh, there's no culture at all because it's been completely subsumed by neoliberalism. There's no experimental music. Well, there is, but it cannot reach anyone. There is no experimental theatre culture. There is no experimental cinema culture. Every single poster that you see for a theatre piece looks like a Netflix film. Mm-hmm. Everything is one big, disgusting, vile, homogeneous mass of low-hanging fruit.
Why would you want to live?
Why would you want to live here?
It's like, I
don't want to live here. I like living here in Shipton.
I like living in Shipton.
I like living in Shipton on the Moor.
I like living in Hackney.
But
a lot.
There's some nice places.
I love living in London.
But on the whole, the country has been destroyed. The cities. All the stuff that John Betjeman was talking about at the end of his film Metroland. John Betjeman goes to a modernist house, which it was, I think, the first modernist house built in the UK, and then Dartington, I think, were the next modernist houses built in the UK. And John Betjeman, after doing this whole thing about the country and its history and the histories and cultures of the various places along the Metropolitan line, he looks at what was I talking about? You have to remind me.
The modernist house.
Yeah, he's gone to the modernist house, and he's talking about it in terms of its neatness, its utility, its the way that its kind of cleanness is in fact very complementary with the landscape, and then looks at an estate that's being built just near it. And at some point, we as a culture made the decision to not go this like super clean, slick, utility kind of housing that looks elegant and sophisticated, and instead we just, we have these like prefab kind of houses that they make everywhere. And we have that, and then car parks.
Hey, I think that's one of the things I really like about Devon is there's a lot of like parts of it where it's not prefab houses, and it's
around here in Shipton, I love the old walls that you can look at forever.
It's all kind of sort of like a collage, so it kind of reminds me a little bit of like cities as well.
Yeah.
Of London and
Yeah, the Devon places are very higgledy-piggledy, which is the best descriptor of it, higgledy-piggledy streets. And here in Shipton Abbot, I still occasionally find turnings that I haven't seen before, and find routes around the town that I haven't seen before. I very much like just walking around here. It's nice, and this is something that everyone has to remember how to do. Is just go walking around for no reason. Don't take your wallet out.
I mean, most people drive, I suppose, don't they? So they don't really. I mean, that's the thing. Is like when we were living in. I mean, we can say the name now, can't we? Because we've already mentioned it.
You mean
we were living in Bristol?
Bristol. Actually, we are Bristol. Who are you? I'm from Bristol. Oh, I moved. I moved to Bristol. It's so amazing there. Amazing. All of the trash on the street. There was a sofa on
fire,
it's really friendly,
homeless people everywhere.
It's so vibrant.
And it's so vibrant. It's so vibrant. It's such a wonderful, wonderful place. And the graffiti.
It's not
just
too big.
brilliant.
And like, I mean,
it's
if
not
you
too
go there,
big. It's
maybe
not too
you should
small.
do a graffiti trail, and then you can look at all of the Banksy. Have I told you that?
Oh yeah,
like,
you can go on
Banksy.
graffiti trails.
Yeah, Banksy. Yeah. Anyway, when we were living in Bristol.
Did you know that Banksy's from Bristol?
Banksy's from Bristol.
Banksy.
So yeah, when we were living there, like, the thing I realised is that, like, the majority of people in this country. I mean, I read an article in the Guardian or something the other day, and it was all like, we in Britain, what's the thing that unites us and defines Britain? Luxury lifestyles. It can't have been the Guardian, but it was a mainstream paper that wasn't a right wing one, although they're all right wing, but that wasn't as right wing. And it was saying, the thing that defines Britain is like luxury lifestyles, and then like holidays, and then I've read tons of stuff in like the Guardian talking about, we all need our holidays, all this stuff of like that's apparently the main mentality that everybody's capsule is going on holiday, having your me time and stuff like that. And I just don't understand that it's sort of like, well, I haven't ever gone on holiday because I'm self-employed. So if I go away, then it's just postponing the vast amounts of things that I have to sort out.
But also, I don't get why you would want to go somewhere and not, like, I literally don't understand.
I don't want to burn the planet.
But I literally don't understand why someone would want to go to some other part of the earth and not explore and sort of sit there and read paperbacks.
Eat a meal.
I'm not criticising it. I just don't understand it.
I literally just don't get it. Like, can't you do that? Like, because I go away like as little as possible. I hate travelling because I've never got enough money.
Yeah, I love just sticking here and shipping.
I've never got enough money, and even if I get a job somewhere, obviously no one will hire me in this country because there isn't any culture. So I have to go to other countries where there still is something, and then, I have dissociative seizures and I'm autistic, so every time that I have to go and do this, it's just 2 days before of having a seizure and stuff like that. And every time I've gotten onto a plane, which I've never wanted to do, I've always had to take lorazepam, which I'm prescribed because I can't integrate with modern capitalism. That's literally because it makes me have a dissociative episode, because the noise, the being shunted through the thing, people touching you, the feeling that maybe you're when you go in the air, your ears get stuck in that popping thing, and I've had blood pouring out of my nose many times. Once I got off a plane and my throat just closed up, and then I couldn't talk for a month. It's not just that, and also you might die and burn to death. Yeah. And so why would you want to go away? Every time I do it, it's horrible. But people want to go away.
I took
my holiday.
I took lorazepam, one of yours, before going on a plane once, kind of in solidarity because you were too, but kind of if something like that is thrown at me, I'll go, yes please. And as I recall, the combination of lorazepam and plane, my low-hanging fruit did not work for about 5 days, which was interesting.
Oh, I'm lucky that
and you offered me one the other day, and no, thank you.
I'm lucky that I haven't got a low-hanging brain then.
A low-hanging brain?
Yeah. That's where the brain is. Metaphorically, that's where they think it is.
My brain is not in my low-hanging fruit.
I know that people would probably get sort of upset about this sort of language, but I'm a little bit upset that everything's kind of not language. I mean, they would say it's reductive. They use it saying this, but I literally think this is true.
Yeah.
I mean, it is true. If you like the amount of men running the countries. They're not really running. Okay, we should stop saying running. We should start saying ruining the countries, because that's much better.
Now that, Bowater, see, That's why I
'cause,
love
like,
this name.
You know what I mean?
I
It's
just
sort of
dig
like-
this name.
like,
You see,
I think I
that's
could do a better
excellent.
job than Keir Starmer. Like, really. I mean, he really can't do it. I could really do it better than Keir Starmer.
Who?
Fat
Fat
Blair.
Blair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I mean, he's just, oh, God, it's awful. Like, you know, all these people, they're just, like, why are we allowing total idiots to destroy the planet?
Yeah, it's ceased to be about
They're just like,
representing
and they
people a
are
long time
thinking
ago.
about their low-hanging fruit. There is no other explanation apart from all of this is just a sort of like, it's. I'm not really sure how to talk about this stuff with it on the radio, but
It's
like,
some of it because the fruit isn't hanging low enough.
but it's just they're just. Like, it's just that, right? I think we should move on to something else because I can't think of how to carry on talking about it because it's really disturbing. We have to use
we're
lots
back
of
to the low-hanging
references
fruit
to,
again.
like, genitalia, which
Yeah.
are not already, so, and
No.
like, you know, other things.
Yeah. Well, moving on. Before the string quartets at the very top of the show, you heard a recording, didn't you? And that recording was made. Are you good if I tell this story about what happened last week while we were on our way to Dartington? We were coming up to Dartington because we are Sound Out Radio have very kindly given us some
Wow, that
work.
sounds like Barry Guy's.
It does,
like,
doesn't it? It sounded just
ghost
like it.
Sort of white noise
Yeah, it does.
thing.
Very kindly given us some work because, because we've been speaking out against, like mass slaughter of thousands of humans for the last 2 years. So we're really, really kind of like
people are saying,
blacklisted
if you,
from
if you
employment
like
in our
animals
lines
as
of work.
well, everybody hates.
Yeah,
you.
that's true.
It's not even if you like animals. It's more like if you're not if you're not a person who's like actively trying to murder every
People hate
other
you.
species.
Yeah.
People
unless
hate us.
they're not
And
crazies, and there are some not crazies.
And I expect if like
we're friends with
of
most of them.
people listening, like would probably
And if we-
hate my guts
we won't be
because I
friends with
think
them.
that you shouldn't take the sort of babies of the sort of very deeply sentient and personhooded other species on the planet and like kidnap them and then stab them in the throat and put them into like a plastic bag and then you eat it and it goes through your digestive system and then the personhood thing ends up as feces.
Yeah,
and
but
I think and it's also burning the planet. So you can avoid doing it because you could eat beans like all of our ancestors did, which is why we're alive.
Yeah.
It's because of the dependency upon beans and foraging and nuts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because actually there was another, sorry to go completely off the subject, like there was another, before the story about the dog throwing up all over me, and yeah, it was chicken as well, and it smelled really bad, like, don't eat that, like really, if you've had a dog throw it up on your skirt, which is what happened, you'll get to the story in a minute, it really doesn't smell good, you don't want to be putting that in your system, it smells really bad, like rancid. When you don't eat it and you walk past like a butcher's or whatever, it just smells of urine. It really, really does.
Yeah.
I'm not like lying about this because I've got some kind of agenda. Like, well, my agenda is that I want to live, not see everything that on this planet on fire. Which, considering animal agriculture is responsible for most of the emissions, I would say that the obvious thing to do there is to stop funding it and going into it. And also, all these companies, these animal agriculture companies, are kind of like heavily involved in sponsoring the Republicans. So all of you kind of left-wing people who are like so woke and that, who are still eating meat, knowing, like, I don't know if you're aware of the fact that there's a thing in America which is called like the Christian or Bible breakfast thing, and they've all been responsible in sort of like whoever's won the American election, and they run the biggest conglomerate of chicken slaughterhouses. So the whole MAGA thing is literally funded on dead chickens. So if you really want to be opposed to Donald Trump and stuff like that, or whatever, your supposedly woke thing, even though you're all contributing to the thing that is destroying the planet. Oh gee, wow, how left-wing you are. If you really want to be against it, then you've got to stop eating meat.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're not going to, and I'm going to be called like, oh, you're really, like...
Don't say things that might upset
It's
them.
personal choice for me to burn the planet.
Yeah, it's not really, is it?
It's my decision.
We actually have a responsibility to do everything
to kidnap
not
the babies
to.
of another species and grind it up and then shove it down your gullet.
I've liked this way a few times in this broadcast. We've been talking simultaneously, and it's been kind of like counterpoint. It's been, I think the listener will be able to hear both.
I'm just very
I think
angry,
it's interesting.
really, and I think I should be allowed to have an opinion on the destruction of the astral body in space. That I
but
happen to live
again, the thing that is permitting it to happen is complacency.
on. Yeah, which is ultimately the laziness,
Yeah.
and ultimately I think...
Dante puts them in the first circle of hell.
Yeah.
The fence sitters, the people who say, well, it's got nothing to do with
I've
me.
been to his grave.
And if you've been like that, it doesn't mean you've got to be like that forever. You can stop being like that and start doing something against this nonsense. And people say, oh, well, what can you do? There's loads of things you can do.
Stop buying stuff by Unilever for a start. Like, stop funding like big kind of,
But also go online and talk with Palestinian people.
Yeah.
Talk with people in that situation. Gain an understanding of how these people are living. One of the major problems in this British society, I think, is that the majority of people have never experienced any kind of tenuousness about their accommodation.
No, you've never experienced homelessness. You've never experienced living without running water.
All the people listening who have experienced this are like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Like, I lived without running water, having to pee in a bucket and then smuggle it out in the middle of London and tip it down a drain because I had nowhere to live. And everybody that I spoke to about living and I loved it. I preferred it because it didn't involve estate agents.
I
really loved it.
I had a point where I had to use a big water bottle.
There was a leisure centre opposite, so it just, and there was an outhouse attached to it, and everyone that I spoke to just couldn't. And it was better than my situation before. It was better than where I was before, which was Leeds, which I'm never going to go back. So it was better than that because I had all these completely just deranged blokes just treating me appallingly. Shout out. And it's just a big sort of not a lot of people it was just crazy. The behaviour was just atrociously sexist, unbelievable. And so I ran away and ended up living in a shipping container for a bit. But it was great because there weren't any estate agents. No one bothered me. I remember thinking about if there's a total societal collapse, that I'm behind a big steel gate. But everybody that I spoke to who was a bourgeois they couldn't conceive of not having running water.
People can't.
And
it's very strange.
And they were when I told them I was living in the shipping container, they were sort of oh, what? One of those wonderful conversions? And it's no.
I think most people
not electric.
People do not have the capacity to realise what they have until they don't have
but
it.
the thing is, you can actually get by on not much. In society, in London, I felt kind of I was in the shipping container, but I was having a brilliant new lease of life. It was all sort of. It was it was not really a problem. It kind of I didn't have any money, but I wasn't being attacked by misogynists. Yeah. So, although I was actually being stalked by a guy at the time who kept texting me saying that he wanted to kill me.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
Then I went to the police because I was talking to people and they said, oh, you should probably go to the police. And it was really, really violent, non sequitur type stuff. Really, he was saying that he was coming to my gigs and stuff like that, and he was saying he'd stabbed people and all this other stuff. And so I went to the police in Hackney, and after being I really just can't be bothered to deal with police again. They don't take anything like assault particularly seriously. They don't take me seriously for anything. So even though I'm on my 6th crime reference number of other people screwing me over completely in various ways, and none of it has ever been like followed up a prosecutor or anything, so like, what's the point in even like bothering? So I went down there to report this guy saying that he was going to turn up and kill me and, you know, do things to my corpse and sort of stuff like that, and they were like, oh no, sorry, we can't do anything about it because we're upgrading to XP. And that was it. But I did have the big steel door. So I can't remember what the point was. It was trying to say that it felt really safe and that I wasn't being attacked by misogynists. But then I remembered that I was being attacked by misogynists there. And then I remembered that another guy, when I was walking back from work at one point, he, at a bar, I had my guitar, and he walked up behind me, and he grabbed my guitar, and he walked along in front of me saying, no, you come with me. And so I didn't want to, like, you know, I wasn't like, it was very, very creepy. Like, he wanted to know where I lived and stuff like that, and I was walking back through Islington, through back streets, and he grabbed my guitar, said, I'm taking this in this, like, fake chivalry way, when actually it was that he was a pervert. And so I had to walk behind him because I obviously wanted my guitar back, and it was also, and then he got to the bit where I was staying, and he was like, I'm going to watch you go in the door. But it's like, in that situation, I'm not abandoning the guitar. If I lose my guitar, I'm screwed. And so then I had to hide behind a wall at a different place and crouch down, and I hid there, and he let me have the guitar back before I walked over, and then I thought, oh, he must have gone. And then I got up and he was still there, and he said, you lied.
Yeah.
And,
what a wonderful world.
Yeah, anyway.
But anyway, Sound Art Radio gave us some work, gave us a job.
I wonder if after this broadcast they'll
No.
rescind that.
No, they're cool. And so, as you probably gathered by now, on the way to the workshop, on the way to a pre-thing for the work, the Sound Arts beautifully hirsute technician Chris has a lovely new little doggy, and it threw up all over Lottie's leg. So we didn't get to come. We didn't get to come. We didn't meet
and
anyone.
The smell was bad. You really don't want to eat the same things that dogs eat.
But so we should tell you, dear listeners, that we will be coming into Sound Art to run some workshops around the theme of drama for radio. We're going to do all sorts, different things every week. It's going to be wild. All different ways of trying things out. And, you know, maybe we'll make a Frankenstein play one week, and the next week maybe we'll make something that takes place on the moon. We'll go deep into the nitty-gritty of what radio can do. And I'll tell you my CV. I've made lots and lots and lots of radio. I did 2 years for WFMU. I made about 9, I couldn't even tell you, probably about 40 hours of programming for Resonance FM. I've made award-winning radio programs for, in Germany, WDR, Bayerische Rundfunk, including a live radio play which had a review in medienkorrespondenz.de, which said, the benchmark of live radio has been raised. So yes, I can be a little pompous about the stuff I've done in radio. I'm allowed. I can be, I've done good stuff in radio. So it'll be an exciting time. But I've made so much stuff for so long that I'm not really interested in my ideas. And my whole practice is usually based around trying to find something else as a starting point to bounce off. So we want to make Lottie and I crazy, beautiful, wild radio workshops that are based around your ideas. You know, where we are all coming up with things together. We're working in a informal way. Where no ideas are off the table, and at the end of the process we are going to culminate in a live radio play performance where we'll do it just like they used to do in the in the earlier days of radio with on-stage record players and live Foley.
I've always wanted to
You
do
can
live
chop
Foley.
lettuces up on
Oh.
stage and all this kind of
Celery.
thing. So it will be a
Fun
totally
with celery.
exactly. It will be a totally fun thing. We have no expectations of like what we'll be making work about or anything like that. Except I do know that one week I want to do like a trashy horror kind of radio play. Like vampires or something, but that's just you will just have to humour me with that one. But yeah, I guess you get in touch with the Sound Art Radio email address to inquire, and then you can come and we can meet, and we'll make loads, and we'll make a lot. We have many like processes and things by which we can make material quickly and have a very open democratic space for ideas and discussion.
Yeah, we did a show a while ago, didn't we, where lots of people came in who were doing PhDs
Yes,
and
this
various
was a
things.
wonderful program.
And they all wrote a poem about their research. I was like super depressed before, but then all these people came in who were like researching how to save the world with all these like totally unique things, like looking at moss and stuff like that. I found it very, very inspiring. So, and I liked it. Got me out of my depressive sort of climate disaster funk, like after
that
sort of watching all the leaders screwing everything up and getting everyone killed in
that
the
is
Middle
a
East.
genre of music
And,
which I feel inclined to invent.
yeah.
Depressive climate disaster funk.
Well, that's kind of what I suppose that's sort of what you already make.
I suppose I sort of am making that. It could be funkier though. I've been going a bit more on the.
I feel like now would be an opportunity to play one of those so that I can go and clean up this various things from the guinea pig.
Oh well, it's okay. I'm gonna just play Sam PRADALIE.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So let's have some more music from the brilliant Anglo-French composer who we are very fortunate to know. He's also a wonderful guy who is, I think you would agree, Lottie. This guy, Sam PRADALIE, is the rare instance of somebody who is very full of light. Full of light. You're full of light, PRADALIE. You have lovely eyes. Doesn't he have lovely eyes?
Does.
You've got beautiful eyes, and you're full of light, and your smile, Sam PRADALIE, lights up the room. It really does.
It really does.
It really does. And I thought that the listeners should have some of your wonderful music inflicted upon them. And you will understand what I say when I say inflicted. Sometimes you got to inflict it. You got to inflict it, boy. The other thing I haven't mentioned about Sam PRADALIE, the brilliant composer who this program is focusing the musical choices around, is that he is also, as of a few weeks ago, now representing me in a legal capacity, and now probably for the rest of my life, Sam PRADALIE is my lawyer. So if you have...
I'm your attorney.
yeah, and Lottie's my attorney. So if you have any issue with anything I say, get in touch with them.
And as your attorney, I think you should now pause this.
You want me to play
that
some
I
music?
can go and
I'm going to play some music.
wash off some other animal related things.
Here is some more music by my lawyer, Sam
I
PRADALIE.
should probably point out at this point that I haven't got a guinea pig on my lap. It isn't.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Well, here's some more music by Sam PRADALIE.
Woo.
Floristan, its exclusive fluoride compound that's far superior to fluoride alone. Now, after years of fluoride research, Procter & Gamble proudly announces triumph over tooth decay for everyone everywhere.
No proper breakfast. He said he hadn't time. What nonsense. No cooking, no messy washing up. Delicious. Because it's more than just paper. Look again.
Take a shiny object, breathe on it, and you can see your own breath. Let's say these G's are the germs, breeding in your mouth and throat, so you can feel safer.
Phizmiz attracts dust and grime like a magnet.
So we began the show with talking about the birds who fly across the sky and come to our window, and now let's talk about the other flying things that are on our planet that lots of people have been trying to make out for years, aren't there? But now there's enough evidence to definitively prove they are.
Really, come on, it's getting ridiculous at this point now.
If you're an aficionado of the show, you'll know that we have had a lot of interactions with very strange things that I don't recognise as being of this particular environment. And this week they had another hearing in the American Congress in which they showed, under oath, in which they showed a piece of military footage which shows a Hellfire missile, which is one of the heaviest pieces of artillery that the American military has, being fired at a glowing ball that was flying over the sea, that sort of zips about and has a woozy shape, and is somewhere between light and liquid, this kind of thing. I don't know what it is. And if you didn't see it, what the footage showed was a Hellfire missile making a direct impact on the glowing ball, and then instead of detonating, bouncing off the glowing ball to goodness knows where, landing, joyously in the ocean. Which
some animal to go and accidentally blow themselves up. It's nice that. The real issue here is that people are firing missiles at anything and anything and everything, and that's going in the sea.
But what this footage shows, and I want you to think about this, is this footage shows for the first time evidence of something on this planet, whether it's from this planet or not, it's here. Something on this planet which is completely invulnerable to anything that humans make, any destructive tool that humans make. These things, whatever they are, wherever they come from, are completely invaluable. So 2 days ago will go down as the date that humanity ceased to be at the top of the food chain on this planet. Let that sink in. You might want to think about that. So it brings great clarity to the meaninglessness of the common Western bourgeois existence.
Yeah, I mean, it was meaningless anyway, but it's pretty much, it's like redundant now. Really.
Meaningless anyway, but it brings clarity to it. It brings things into focus.
I mean, I think the best.
None of you are as powerful as you think you are. You think your Range Rover makes you powerful in the same way that the military think their Hellfire missile makes them powerful, and
it just makes them murderers.
Yeah, and it turns out that there are things here which we could fire anything at, and it wouldn't make any difference. Something completely invulnerable to aggression. Also, that means invulnerable to aggression. We don't know whether it hurts or not. Look like it might hurt a bit. Also, just to throw in this idea that UFOs are at the bow at the same time. spacecraft and being. They are possibly. People talk about the idea that spacecraft are operated by consciousness. I have the feeling that these like glowing balls, I think they maybe just are consciousness, and the craft and the being itself are the same thing.
I mean,
it is a consciousness.
All these like pod things, they kind of look like they're sort of like having fun and like running about.
And they're
like,
commonly
going,
described.
"Wee!"
I've never seen one of these things close up, but they're
Well, we've seen
commonly
them from far
yes.
away.
But I've seen videos of these. I don't like saying orb because it sounds too new age.
plasma-y thing?
The balls, right? The balls.
Well, what was the thing? So
And in the UFO hearing the other day, one of the witnesses described on the top of a triangle something exhibiting the top of a black triangle UFO exhibiting this behavior, I guess you'd call it. But I've never seen, and I really want to see. So if you're listening, alien overlords, I'd really love to see one of the orange plasma balls.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're beautiful, but they, they're big. Somebody, in fact, at the UFO hearing the other day testified under oath about seeing one of these things directly above his house. I really want to see one of those.
We saw the thing.
Listen, plasmoid orange balls, which are not low-hanging fruit. It's a different kind of balls. Plasmoid orange balls, please come in our house. We want to meet you.
I mean,
we want to say hello.
What if? What was the thing that we saw after the show about the? We did a show where we were trying to talk to them, and then
they came.
And then there was this big ball of like, I don't know, sort of weird ball of light that was like woozy and like shifting about and like changing shape and stuff, and was like all different colours at the same time.
I don't remember it as a ball of light. I remember it more like a waterfall.
Like, yeah.
Like a little strange encapsulated waterfall. Yeah, and the colours were all folding around. And this thing, again, had that colour, which I saw on the UFO, which was the black triangle, which we saw very close up. The UFO, which was shaped like a Pope's hat, which we saw very close up and very slowly moving. And this one is that they exhibit this colour, which is a very shimmering kind of colour.
Yeah.
And it's very strange. I'm looking at the painting of this flying machine that I did over the last few days, and it's coloured pink and green. But they have this colour, the UFOs, some of the ones that I've seen. They have this colour which is pink and green at the same time. Yeah. And I don't know how to describe that, but I can picture it now in my mind's eye what that was. And I wondered. They talked about seeing this other colour recently in some scientific thing. Is it that colour? Is it maybe. Is it pink and green at the same time? But also about that colour, because neurologists, I guess, someone was able to see in their, in their interior vision, they were able to experience a colour.
You have to fire like lasers.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a very complex process. But somebody was able to experience a colour which nobody had seen before, a new colour. And do you know what, Lottie? Do you want to hear something amazing?
Yeah, go on then.
Well, in Bournemouth.
Wow! Of all places.
In Bournemouth, there's this amazing artist.
Jewel of the Southeast.
Yeah. There's this amazing artist called Stuart Semple, and he's so cool, right, that he's got really cool hair, and he hangs out with the man Uri Geller.
Oh yeah,
right?
Well, the guy who does things with spoons.
Yeah, who James Randi exposed. Anyway.
He does other things with spoons.
So Stuart Semple, within about a week of this being announced, he'd managed to bottle it
and
sell it.
Amazing.
It's amazing. So it was the unknowniest unknown colour.
It's like
to go along with his pinkiest pink
it's
pink.
like Newton and Leibniz all over again.
His reddiest red, his greeniest green, his yellowiest yellow.
It's my beigiest beige.
His beigiest beige.
It's my most nondescript thing.
Yes. And his whitest white, just like his art. And I don't care about saying nasty things about Stuart Semple, because I reached out multiple times to Stuart Semple. I was using his paints. We even made a track because we liked his paints called Wheel of Stuart Semple. And do you know what Stuart Semple did? He snubbed me.
We sent him
he
some
ignored me. I
cassettes.
think we may have been at a wedding with him recently, but we weren't sure if it was
we
him.
sent him some cassettes.
We did. He didn't even say thank
He didn't
you.
even say thank you, but he puts up all his, like, you know...
The track
pictures
even
of
says he's got
dandelions
nice
on
hair.
his- you know, he puts up everyone's, like...
Yeah. Oh, his art's amazing.
Dandelion pictures on his website.
His art's amazing. If you want your art gallery to look like sort of badly thought out birthday card, box canvas, wall art, then this guy is your is your man. And the thing is, it's perfectly fine to slag off Stuart Semple, because Stuart Semple has made a living
out of targeting Anish Kapoor.
And
like the thing about the Vantablack thing.
Well, my initial first problem with that is that in our society, I think it's really, if you're a white person, I don't think it's a good look to be consistently publicly attacking
Like targeting
a brown person.
Yeah, targeting.
It's not a good look.
Okay.
It's not very classy.
Whatever your feelings on like big conceptual art, like Anish Kapoor actually does have some sort of like substance behind his artwork.
Anish Kapoor did something really good recently. Oh, the collaboration with the with one of the climate groups. They did the giant red thing on the oil rig, and I thought that was very beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Anish Kapoor's artwork, it's like kind of a
Anish,
series of bizarre. I don't know. They kind of exist
like
in
public art is my least favourite kind of art, but Anish Kapoor strikes me as a rather thoughtful person, and somebody who has studied the discipline of art very, very vigorously
and thinks
very
a lot. You can tell there is a lot going on in
so
art.
whether or not
I don't
you
know,
like his work,
I don't know it very well, but I didn't like the slide because I lived in
I hate
Hackney
the slide
at the time, but you know, the whole thing's pretty.
I quite like his big mirror ball.
But
the mirror ball is good. Brilliant use of public
the
space.
stuff on his website is kind of his stuff in galleries. I think is fantastic.
What, like 2D painting?
No, big installations that are kind of like really like using Vantablack and stuff, and then like putting like red in the middle of it. It's like it's really like you want to eat it sort of thing. Like that's what when art is good. I want to like eat the thing. It feels like a synthetic.
And I wasn't
thing.
just to stay on the right side of legality. I was not saying that Stuart Semple attacks Anish Kapoor because he is of a I think Indian heritage. Anish Kapoor. That isn't why Stuart Semple is doing that. The reason Stuart Semple has a problem with Anish Kapoor was that Anish Kapoor got exclusive rights to use the then very, very new and probably quite dangerous...
Made out of nanotubes.
Yeah, Vantablack from Surrey Nanosystems. So got an exclusive right to kind of use that at its testing phase. So Stuart Semple has a real problem with Anish Kapoor. But if you actually look at what Stuart Semple says about Anish Kapoor, his main problem with Anish Kapoor seems to be that Anish Kapoor is very, very, very rich. But then... if one looks up Stuart Semple, one discovers Stuart Semple is in fact a millionaire. Of course he is. He sells all his paint.
He runs a paint factory.
Yeah, he runs a paint factory. So
I
the
really
Stuart
haven't heard of
Semple
anyone
thing,
sort of like getting out of the ghetto, running a paint factory.
Yeah. The Stuart Semple thing is to me a very clear symptom of the major problem in the UK right now. The major problem in the UK right now is the vast wealth imbalance between the 75% who live like Henry VIII, who have more resources than Henry VIII ever had at their disposal every day, and the 25% in this country who languish in constant, unbearably stressful poverty, and they die younger than the rich people. And this is obviously
but no, that's fine.
an atrocious imbalance, but it's, you know, it enrages me so much that I've forgotten the subject that led me to at that juncture. Oh yeah, so Stuart Semple is one of the ultimate examples or symptoms of this idea in this country that people who are in fact very, very rich think that they are poor. And then people say, oh, no, because you're going to be a millionaire now just from property. You know, just property, you buy it and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Regardless, you still have at your disposal £1 million. And people say to me, many people have said to me, usually when I'm having this kind of conversation, because if you talk about the actual situation of the people in this country who live in actual poverty, which is a lot, it's 25%, but that is a lot of people. It makes those who don't and have never experienced like tenuous accommodation, it makes them guilty, but it just makes them really, really angry. Hi, Mum and Dad. It makes them really, really angry. And Stuart Semple defining himself as a poor artist underdog, and trying to define himself like basically Lady Gaga bought one of his paintings. As Lady Gaga bought one of his paintings, but he tries to define himself as an underdog bohemian working for the real artists.
Who are all painting pictures of dandelions on box canvases.
Yeah, who are all painting pictures of dandelions on box canvases. But I'll give a review as well, because I've used a lot of Stuart Semple's paints. I used them in the movie Alta Build Havisspec, which we made for the Centre for Literature.
Yeah, so you could have replied about that.
He could have replied about that.
I just find this very strange that you reach out to people you sort of like use their stuff with or collaborated with, and they're like, eh.
Yeah, but the strange thing is he will share everything, like all the pictures of dandelions and stuff, but he didn't want to share our movie, or he didn't want to respond about the cassettes. This was years ago now. But to give a review of the paints, yes, it is true. You can believe the hype. The colours are bright. Mm-hmm. The red is really bright red. The blue is really bright blue. The green is really bright green. However, the point of acrylic paint is its texture, its buildability. If you're working with acrylics, you build with it. You put paint on top of paint. You create layers. This paint has the consistency of a Mackie D's milkshake. It's not, not even that. The consistency of a milkshake when it's been left out of the fridge for a few hours. It's kind of that consistency. And so consequently is pretty useless unless you're wanting to kind of do sort of dandelions or really terrible pop art on box canvases.
I do like it, but yeah, like you say, I mean, I can see how it could be useful for some things.
Yeah.
So the colours are quite nice, but I like that. I'm just saying that to just show that I actually just sort of have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive
The paint is alright.
It's okay. There's some nice colours. His metallic paints were very good.
Like I like a lot of
See, Stuart, I like your metallic paints, They're great, and I did like your paints.
Yeah, but then you
But-
got rude to us.
But then you were rude to us, yeah. But I have real umbrage with you having a problem with Anish Kapoor because he's rich.
Didn't he change his name by default to Anish Kapoor?
Yes, Stuart Semple changed his name to Anish
That's
Kapoor.
a bit really a bit much, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but you have a problem with Anish Kapoor, because he's rich, whilst you are rich.
But also, I don't
You have access to a lot of money, but you're trying to raise legal fees. Now you're trying to get your acolytes to raise legal fees for you to fight the Eve Klein Foundation because you made
marketed your Yves Klein version paint in the
same way as Eve Klein,
Yves
which
Klein,
is just a
so
daft
it's
thing to
sort of
do. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's gonna happen, and there's a kind of it's the thing I was talking about earlier on is seen in this guy's approach. It's the arrogance of the bourgeois. It's the they've never been told that they're doing that they're being arrogant, that their behaviour is arrogant, or anything like that. And I wouldn't have a problem with Stuart Semple, except he was rude to us. He ignored us so many times when we were making all this wonderful work using this mediocre but pretty paint, which he'd made. But also, I'll give one more review. Because you're allowed to give reviews of products, aren't you? His black 2.0 paint, which is the blackiest black or something like that, he'll call it, the noiriest noir. Well, I have to say, Stuart, it depends what surface you're using it on. I've used it on some things, stays pretty black. Used it on other things that aren't absorbent, fairly regular surfaces. Goes grey within a few hours. And then it's what? The greyest grey. I don't need the greyest grey. I used to live in Bristol.
Talking of grey, I found out that I'm colourblind the other day.
Yeah, you're colourblind.
And that I see everything sort of slightly muted, and then I was kind of really happy about that, because then that explains why I'm such a goth.
The great thing was, though, for me personally, it explained why I could never find your blue bag.
Yeah,
and it's really been a source of mystery for me for years.
Blue.
Oh, Lottie means that it's that bag hanging there, which is
what
green.
Is it?
It's green.
Is it? I
yeah.
don't know. Oh, I don't know. I'm colourblind.
You're colourblind.
Me?
Yeah. I think that's kind of cool and exciting. All right.
Yeah, brutalism.
Yeah, brutalism. I like brutalism when it's done well. Like the Barbican.
But yeah, I mean, they've kind of put too much branding all over it now.
Is it? Yeah, covered in branding. Well,
I
everything's
don't know. They went
branding.
a bit sort of playing the public space, didn't they?
Play in the public space.
I wanted sort of harsh, unrelenting, sort of modernist, kind of anti, sort of reverse counterpoint, falling apart and stuff. Yeah. That's about the end of time.
Yeah.
But the Barbican wanted to sort of do
Well, this is the main
I don't know, maybe it's
thing
different.
now.
I might be wrong about it.
People wonder why young people don't want to engage in the arts in this country. Could it be that the majority of art that gets funded in this country is now art for businessmen to play in the public space?
We went to some lecture in some I don't know, it's when you were working at college, and we got given sort of told about this event that was about art and stuff in some one of those members clubs.
Oh, when I was briefly doing one of my full-time teaching jobs.
One of those members clubs in Soho.
They never last long.
And we went in there, and it was a really little room. Obviously I didn't pay for it because I didn't have any money, but got a free ticket to go and watch this woman talking about. It sounded interesting on paper. It was art and light. And it was basically that she got a load of funding to sort of have a torch that followed people about in a corridor outside, and that was kind of apparently...
Yeah, that's amazing.
And you can like interact with the light, but I just don't see how that's going to help me connect to the sublime sort of underlying forces of nature that run through us and the entire universe and are expressed through stuff like Messiaen and like, I don't know, what else? Alice Coltrane.
Yeah.
The string arrangements on Alice Coltrane are like...
And ultimately, I don't think...
Suddenly shining a torch and playing with it when you're going back from work doesn't really make me think about, like, the sky breaking apart.
Yeah. And I don't think ultimately in this world that businessmen should be playing. And certainly not in the public space. I think businessmen should be doing business. That's hence the name.
That's their art.
Hence, that's their art. And on that note... This has been Sound Art Radio.
I'm Depresstival with Mr. Suet.
And I'm Dr. Ergo Phizmiz. Just about. I've heard from me, have good conversations with the supervisor. It's going in soon. Dr. Ergo Phizmiz.
Despite the vicious
rumour that I decided not to submit my PhD because I'm too good for it.
Which is insane. Nobody would ever do that.
Nobody would ever do that.
Ever.
I'm astonished anybody would believe that.
Why would anyone believe that?
I'm Mom and Dad.
Or say that.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening to this. And see you next week. If you want to participate in the workshops, get in touch with the radio station. Bisous. Mwah.
Take a dry egg at room temperature. No pressure, yet we can lift the egg, even boil it.
I thought of the winter and the traffic and the time spent moving about, and I wondered why it was necessary in 1955.
Picture and sound come in together. There. Now that's quite a difference, isn't it?